Hey guys, before we get into today's episode, I want to share with you about something I am hugely excited to announce, and that is the upcoming launch of the newest and best group coaching program that has ever come out of Overcoming Graduation called Master Your Day. This program is going to be a 3-month group coaching program focused on helping you not just achieve your goals, but to create enjoyable days, moments, and experiences on the way to those goals. As I've spent the past few years studying, researching, reading about, watching videos about creating a dream life, I've realized it is not the creation of, this massive thing comes together and that one big goal and then life becomes good afterwards as a result. It is a conscious creation day to day, moment to moment. So some of the questions I started to ask were, how do we do that? How do we create a dream day? How do we create a dream life? And how do we start to build the habits and the routines in those days so that we can have consistency in saying, I know I'm working towards my goals, I'm connecting with the people that are important, I'm taking care of my body, and I am getting things done. This program is all about that. We're going to go deep into mindset, identities, values, and how our identity shapes the way we show up in the world. Then we'll dive into goal setting, the most effective goal setting tips, tactics, tools, and strategies I have ever found to help you get clear on what you want and what your empowering why is. There are so many things that people will say about, set the right goal, it'll take you here. But if you don't have an empowering why underlying that, why are you doing this? Something you can check in with when things get really hard. That will be one of your biggest downfalls. It's something I've experienced. It's something I've seen. And when I have that why behind it, it changes the game. So that why discovery session is going to be one of the first and most important parts of this program. We're then going to go into habits because now we've got our why, we've got our values, we've got our goals, we've mapped out how we want to be pursuing these things, but how do we actually get rid of the bad habits and maintain the good ones? And not only maintain them, how do we implement new good ones? And how do we enhance them over time? Because the next section talks about efficiency and effectiveness. So now we've got our habits and routines. Now we've got our values. We're clear on our why, but how do we get better and better at doing the things that lift us up, make us most productive, and help us share our gift with the world? And the best part is you won't be doing this alone. You'll have me as the coach and guide leading you through this process, but you will also be surrounded by a group of incredible individuals who are doing the same work, who are working on the same things, and want to share that journey with you. They're going to support you. You're going to support them. You'll be connected. And the whole way through, we're going to make sure that you're taking steps toward your goals. You're dreaming bigger. You're acting bigger than you ever have. And you are demonstrating to yourself that the person that you have always wanted to be has been waiting there inside for you to unveil. That's what this program's about. I want to help you, and I want to get on a call with you to tell you more details to see if this program is the right fit for you. So if this program sounds like it's interesting, if this sounds like something you need and want in your life right now, I want you to contact me at brian@overcominggraduation.com. That's BRIAN at overcominggraduation.com. When you contact me, you can either send me a message on social media, you can shoot me an email and say, I'm in, I want to know more about Master Your Day. I will send you a link to set up a 30-minute video call with me. We'll talk through the program. We'll see if it's right for you. And if it is, we'll talk about everything you need to do to get on board and start transforming your life starting that first day. So remember, it starts July 17th, 2019. If you're interested, don't wait. Most people hesitate. Most people think too much. Most people go, maybe I could, or, we'll see, or, I don't know. Don't hesitate. Don't flip-flop. Don't waffle. This is the moment in the day. If this sounds right for you and this resonates with you, send me the message and we will get that call scheduled straight away so we can see if this program is right for you. Now, guys, I love you all. I'm so excited to share this episode with you today. So let's get into today's episode of the Overcoming Graduation podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Overcoming Graduation with Brian Drury, a show where I work to teach you everything I wished I'd known about habits to help you start creating your dream life today. Today is another installment of the Morning Commute, where I take my ride to work in the morning to share a short but powerful message with you to help you kick your day off on the right foot. And today's message is this: reason or season. This morning, as I was going through my morning routine, I was listening to a motivational video, just one that caught my eye on YouTube, and put it on. And there were two speakers. Tom Billier was the first one. The second one I didn't recognize, but he said something that I needed a reminder on. And it was actually a discussion my roommate and I were having just the other day. We were talking about people that come into our lives and when they go and when we should remove them. And we were talking specifically about dating relationships, but this goes far beyond just dating. It goes into everything. It's our relationships with friends, family, how we allow people to be in our lives and how we allow people to show up and how we allow ourselves to show up in our relationships is so critical. And what this speaker in the YouTube video said was, some people come into your life for a reason and others come into your life for a season. But it's up to us to determine which of those it will be, because the people that are there for a reason, that's important. They're there. That's something that's significant that needs to stay because of that reason. But there for a season, seasons come and go. Seasons pass. And there are certain people that at one point it was the best thing in your life or one of the best things, but things have changed. Things are no longer what they used to be. We're not playing the same game anymore. And we'll see this in just about everything. If you think back to when you were younger, and depending on when you're listening to this, but let's say earlier years of school, or high school, college, or earlier jobs, when we think about the relationships we've had, I would say just about every time, every next phase or next transition in my life, there's been some discussion with people of, hey man, we're going to keep in touch, we're definitely not going to lose touch, we're going to always be communicating, this isn't going to stop. And yet, pretty much every time, to some extent, and generally to a greater extent than not, we do lose touch. And not out of malice or not out of any negative things, it's just we grow in different directions, we develop different interests, we spend time living our lives, and when the proximity changes, the game changes. And when I look back on my dating relationships, it's an interesting area to focus on because of all the stuff that I have gone through, put myself through in relationships. And when I really look at them and go, what were they there to serve? It's interesting because I know in my most insecure moments is when I look to go back. Is when I'm most scared or I'm the most fearful about the future is when I want to say, weren't things great with so-and-so? Or, remember that girl from Brazil that I dated way back? Oh man, if I lived in Brazil, I bet things would be, I bet we'd be together, it'd be amazing. And it's easy to get caught up in what ifs, and it's easy to get caught up in the past and not acknowledge where we're at currently in the present. Because I know something I've done and still at times do, and I'm getting better at catching myself, is not only trying to hold on to the past, but just get enough of a taste of what the past used to be so that I can feel just a little good in the moment, get that instant gratification, but what I'm doing is distracting from my present and my future. For example, hey, let me just text her. Just reach out and just, you know what, I'll send that meme that we always liked, or send that funny animal picture, because we always used to talk about those animals. And that's fine if it's truly coming from a place of, hey, I just think this is funny and I want to do this. But when it becomes a regularity, and when it also, because be careful, because we're really good at, no, it's just a casual thing. And it's like, really? With your ex of 9 years and this and that's just a casual thing, just shooting them, like, come on, dude, there's more here. But, and that ain't me, because I haven't had an ex for nine years for sure. But, but the big thing to realize is, why are we doing it? I was just talking to my roommate about that. I was like, I realized there have been people in my life that I only knew in a dating capacity. That we met, we started dating, and then we either dated for a long period of time or went on some dates, and that was the only way I really knew them. We hadn't started as friends, and then it evolved into a dating relationship. So it's not like we're going back to being friends. Like, we never really had that to begin with. And I was curious about, like, why am I reaching out? And sometimes I know it's just going back to old patterns and habits of looking for validation. or just a good feeling, feeling not so great in the moment and bored or disconnected from my purpose. And rather than face that and work through it, or work to develop new friendships around me, or go out and ask a girl on a date, it's like, wow, let me just reach back. let me just send a text. And then maybe you get the text back, maybe you don't, maybe it's delayed, maybe it's this or that. But there's something else too that a friend of mine said to me a year or two ago. I think it was about 2 years ago now. And it was very profound. It didn't need to be many words, but it really hit me, because she said, Brian, isn't it interesting that, because there were two girls that I was seeing at the time, that I was going on dates with. Nothing official, don't worry, it wasn't cheating, it wasn't lying, it was just two girls that I happened to be dating. And, but she looked at me and she said, Brian, isn't it interesting that all the girls that you're currently pursuing are completely emotionally unavailable for you? Isn't it interesting that all of the girls you're pursuing are completely emotionally unavailable for you? And when she said that, I rocked back. And if you listen to the show, I talk about rock back moments where you rock back in your chair and go, whoa, okay. Because you just got hit with something that's at a whole nother level. It's a whole different thing. It reframes something, or it introduces a reality that you had never even considered, or it just completely surprises you, or it's like it has so much truth and you know it that it literally makes you physically sit back. And that was that for me in that moment, that I said, wow, she's right. And deep down, the fearful part of me said, well, but this one's really nice and it's sweet. We have great talks and I can make her laugh so easy, and that feels really good. I like making people laugh, and we have these wonderful conversations, and then but the other girl, there's this real intense connection, and it feels real sexy, this real cool vibe that we get. It's just this crazy connection. And then but the emotional unavailability, but the lack of all the other important areas that are so critical for me in a relationship, and me just going, well, I don't feel worthy of that, and maybe I'll never get that, so it's better to take something less than what I deserve and just settle. There's that voice. And guys, that voice hasn't gone away. That voice is still here. I'm just working to take better care of myself and love on that voice, because I know what it's trying to do. It thinks it's trying to protect me. That voice thinks that it's going, hey man, you've been hurt in the past, so it's better to just not even try, and then you won't get hurt. Or chase meaningless sex. That way you'll never have to get emotionally involved, and then you can't be hurt emotionally. Or but you know what, Brian? You can just avoid the challenges by never letting yourself get deep. And you can date, sure, but you always need to be the one that's less involved, less engaged, less passionate, less in love. And therefore, that's it, man. Or you know what? Better yet, don't ever be in love. Because love has led to a lot of pain for you in life, right? Like, remember when you lost mom and you loved her? It's one of the people you love the most on the planet. You lost her. That hurt more than anything. No, just don't love. There you go. Problem solved. But then, guys, let me tell you, when I have lived in those moments, there's a true emptiness. A deep one. Resisting love because we've been hurt in the past. Resisting love because there was someone who we thought was a reason and they turned out to be a season, and then we're trying to hold on to the season, but the season is gone and the season moved on for a reason, but we're not willing to see the future that now exists because of that season passing. We're so busy holding on to winter 3 years ago or fall 2 years ago that we can't see all the beauty and the opportunity that's going on right now. And what I'm not saying, what I want to be very clear, I'm not saying now you can date someone and be happy, because that's something I chased for so long, and it is such bullshit, because then I just ended up getting into one codependent relationship after another where I was, or in some cases where I was just dependent. She didn't really need as much from me. I was the one who was dependent, and I wasn't spending the time to work on myself, to love myself more so that I could be in a healthy relationship, which is where the work has needed to be done for years. And only recently did I finally realize that and get into it. And start doing the work daily. Start actually looking myself in the mirror and saying, I love you daily, because rather than chase the love from someone else, I want to be able to recognize that I love myself and that I deserve to love myself and I deserve to feel good, but I have to work on this internal game that for so long has been much more predominantly focused on the negative, or what I lack, or what I'm not. Those seasons come and pass for a reason, and if we're willing, there are lessons there, but that doesn't, also, just because there are lessons doesn't mean we need to dwell. God knows there have been times in my life where I just sat ruminating over and over, why didn't she like me? And everything was great. Like, why didn't she love me? We had so much fun together. Why did she want to be with other guys and not me? And I would just drive myself crazy thinking about it, flipping it over and over and over again in my mind, trying to mentally figure out a way to make it work or to justify it or to protect my ego, really, if we get down to it and go, oh, well, see, no, it wasn't really about this. It's situationally because, her work schedule, and if our schedules, and, but like, she's got a lot going on, because if it hadn't been for this emotional thing in her life, then we totally would have, boom, and on and on and on. And it's like, what does it come down to, Brian? And I'm like, I want to be with someone that wants to be with me, regardless of the external situations. Like, I want to be with someone that, hey, if the economy gets bad, or something really intense happens in one of our lives, we get injured, someone gets sick, someone dies, it's like, I want to be with someone who's clear on that. I don't need to be clear on everything. I don't need to have everything figured out, because God knows none of us do. Anybody who says they do is pretending and really afraid that you'll find out that they don't. They don't understand everything. But I want to be with someone who sees me in my honesty, in my vulnerability, in my weakness, in my fear, in my joy, in my light, in my passion, in my gratitude, in all aspects, and goes, I want to be with that guy. I want to be with that person. Not a mask, not a facade of happiness, positivity, or success. I want to be with him. And it's taken a lot of different seasons passing for me to really crystallize this more and more. I'm like, and maybe it'll take more. Maybe there will be more seasons that need to pass in order for me to find the right person for me. And that's okay. It's part of the process. And as I recognize my worth more and love myself more, if I see something that isn't right, I step away quicker. And I've done that more and more, where, you know what? This isn't right. Nothing wrong with you, nothing wrong with me. This is just a matter of us having very different values. And sometimes it has been that difficult to look in the mirror of saying, shit, I got some things I need to work on. And I know that a relationship is going to take work, but I want to be in it with someone who wants to do that work with me and who wants to evolve with me. So when you think about your friends, your dating relationships, I know I focus primarily on dating, but that was really what sparked this for me. Are they a reason or a season? Right? And guys, at times they are a reason and then they change to a season. Sometimes they come and pass. Sometimes they are your root for many of the things that you do. But what's important is you take the time to recognize which is which, be honest with yourself, and let go of the seasons that have passed so that you can live and experience fully the seasons that you're in and the reasons and the moments that you're in this moment. All right, guys, that is going to be all for today. I love you all. Thank you all for listening. And if you haven't already, be sure to go subscribe to the podcast on iTunes or on Stitcher. If you would like to reach out to me directly, you can contact me at brian@overcominggraduation.com to share interviewee recommendations, give some feedback on the episode, or reach out about some topic that you'd like me to cover in a future morning commute or maybe even a longer form episode. Now, guys, think about your reasons and your seasons. Think about one way that you can connect more with the reasons and that you can let go of the seasons. What's one way, what's one person
that you can connect with that is a reason that you can support with. And if you're like, I don't have any reasons, I don't have any people that lift me up, that build me up, what's one thing you could do this week to meet those new people? Get on meetup.com, go on the internet and just search something. Maybe it's go on a date. It could be any number of things, but what's one step you can take? I love you guys. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for being a part of this, and I'll be talking to you again real soon.